Size, super simple turkey dinner. I am not, nor have I ever been, a great lover of turkey, especially the breast meat, which I find fucking bland and a bit dry normally. Normally, when we were kids, we had goose or gammon or beef or pork or any of those, or a lamb joint. But when my parents died, my mother left me a really old 1960s cookbook. And as I was just flicking through, I came across a recipe for stuffed turkey drumsticks. So I bought 8 of these. This is obviously frozen solid at the moment. And I'm going to try and bone them out and stuff them because I quite like the brown meat as opposed to the breast. And they were cheap. They were £2.30 each. So we can have one each, for dinner. So we'll see how we get on with this. And I'll come back when we're ready to prepare it. That's got to defrost, obviously. There are 2 ways that we can bone out one of these turkey drumsticks. By far the easiest way is to find where the bone's located closest to the surface, cut round the skin here, cut down that way and peel the flesh away. But I'm going to attempt to get the bone out and leaving the rest of it in one piece. So you're going to need some sharp knives, possibly a meat cleaver. The first thing we need to do is to slice through the skin all the way to the bone, all the way around one end. Now it would certainly make life easier if we can cleave that bone out of the way, so I'm going to attempt to do that. I might be a heavier cleaver. Obviously if you've got a bone saw it would make it much easier, but I don't possess one. You're going to need a fillet knife as well, and the idea is to try to find the edge of the bone and slide the fillet knife all the way down it, and then carefully attempt to cut around the bone from this end. There we are. So that's coming away. There are some pieces of quite tough gristle which attach the bone to the flesh. We may have to find a way to remove those. Then from the other end, try to slide along the bone again. The knuckle end this end is much more difficult because it's hard to see the actual shape that the bone is forming. We'll give it a go. There's a knuckle joint on there as well, which we may need to try and split. There's the second bone there, but we'll see if we can get this out. So what we've got now is a boned out joint with a void in the middle that we can stuff. That can all go into the bin. And there we have a boned out joint. So, stuffing. The basic ingredient for almost all stuffing is breadcrumbs. I've got 3 slices of slightly dried brown bread there. I've got half a finely chopped onion. I've got some dried mixed herbs, the zest of a lemon, some sage leaves from the herb garden, the juice of a lemon, and some chestnuts which have been boiled and peeled and what have you. I won't use all of that onion, and I doubt I'll use all of that chestnut. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these slices of bread slightly smaller so they'll go through the food processor. Right, we'll get the food processor ready and then we'll come. This is my baby super simple, super cheap food processor. It's only got 1 speed. The trouble is it's quite noisy, so I'm going to have to explain what I'm doing before I start. I'm going to start by adding the dry ingredients. So the breadcrumbs, the herbs and the zest of a lemon. Now you could leave out the lemon because once you've got the basic breadcrumb mixed together, you can then add almost anything. Fruits, you could add force meat, there's all sorts, but we'll get on and just get these done. So sorry about the noise. So that's the breadcrumbs half done. Let's get the dry ingredients in now. Zest of a lemon for this, some sage leaves and some dried herbs. I've dropped a sage leaf, I know I have. But I'm not going to stand on ceremony, that can all go in. Give that another blitz up. So that's your basic crumb mix. Now that'll we can add all sorts to that. But the next thing that I want to put in is some onion, and I'm going to have to do this in stages because the onion will impart juice to the mix, and I don't want it to go too wet. But obviously you want flavour of onion in there. So let's start with a roughly half of what we've got there. The only reason I've pre-chopped this is that this little blender is not got the most powerful motor in the world, so I'm sort of trying to give it a bit of a head start. better because I could get this in much faster. Stuff loading, just going to go over there, but who cares? Is that another blitz up? At this stage, I'm going to want to add some salt and pepper. I think that will take, oh, there's some lovely smells coming off that. I think that might take a bit more onion. So that's the basic mix. Next thing we want to pop into there is the juice of a lemon, because I want this to have quite a lemony, zesty sort of flavour. Good in there. Finally, I'm banging a few chopped chestnuts. When you finally make this up to stuff your bird, or if you wanted to make stuffing balls with it, you want to add some hot water and a knob of butter. But what I'm intending to do, because there's a fair amount there and I don't need that much, I'm going to freeze some of it so that you can make force meatballs, stuffing, or whatever you like. More. Oh, fantastic lemony smell to it. there is our basic stuffing mix. You can see it's roughly the right consistency to form. So I'm going to freeze half of this and I'll keep the other half to stuff my bird. Here's the final stuffing mix. That's all ready to go in. It's actually quite, yep, that'll be fine. So we'll bone out the bird and we'll try that stuffing later on. The next job is to stuff the bird ready for the oven. So there's the void, here's the stuffing we made earlier. So we're going to force that down into there. We've got some of the citrus from the lemon and herb stuffing will work its way into the flesh of the bird. It may be that you need to get your fingers in there to work it right in. Is our turkey drumstick roasting joint ready for the oven. I put our turkey drumstick into a oven proof dish and I'm going to tent the foil over the top and we're going to cook it in the oven at about 180 to 200 for 45 minutes with the foil on, and then we'll uncover it and cook the final 45 minutes under normal open dish to crisp up the skin. So we'll come back after the first 45 minutes to see where we are. Our drumstick has now been in for the first 45 minutes. So we're going to pull him out, remove the foil lid, pop him back in the oven for the second 45 minutes. And we'll come back once that one's done. Right, that's it, that's the second 45 minutes. For our turkey leg. There we are, job done.